Hello there and welcome to the D2 PRL mid-season review with myself, old school 3000 Mark Aldridge, otherwise known as the pre-season season 16 champion. I wanted to run through some results with you guys, have a bit of a wrap up. Also got some words from some of you as to your season. And kind of take it from there. So run through the highs, all the things you guys did well, run through the lows, all the things you guys and I did terribly, and kind of take it from there really. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce our first driver, Waluigi, who is leading the league with a stellar 111 points over 8 races. Interestingly, he's won one race, just the one race, very consistent, seemingly, always seems to be racking up points wherever he goes, and yeah, it's been quite an interesting point that he's winning the league, because I feel that, he's had quite a lot of good finishes. He's had a second, a first, two thirds and 3/4, I should say, but he's points scored in every race. Now this consistency has been fantastic. I think he's been a breath of fresh air. He's obviously a new driver to the league, racing in the Red Bull. Really nice guy as well, seemingly just as surprised with his position as perhaps some of us are, I think all I can say in regards to Waluigi is that he's done some really solid races, and his battle is reminiscent of a kind of the old fable of the tortoise and the hare, but we'll come on to the hare. Waluigi, you're by no means as slow as a tortoise, but the way you're accumulating points kind of makes me feel so. Yeah, onto my interview-esque with Waluigi. Asked him some questions about how I thought, how he thought his season was out of 10, and any kind of thoughts on his season. So, his aim it was to finish each race in the top 10. But he was not expecting to be first. In his own words, he said, I made some mistakes in race, but the others made some mistakes too. So I think I'm lucky to lead the championship. I know I'm not the fastest guy in the league. I'm really happy with my season so far. 8.5 out of 10. I'm not going to do half marks in this, so I'm going to give him an 8 from my point of view. I think he's very much there to pick up the pieces on really good level compared to some of the guys he's fighting. So yeah, really stellar. I think he will need to up his pace. He is on automatic gears at the moment, which is, well, from knowledge of his time trials, he's on automatic and uses no TC and no ABS. If he can get used to the manual side of things, I think maybe that's what he might need to do in order to really keep a hold of his lead. But yeah, we'll see. On to second place in the league, which is V5. 2 wins, 4 podiums as well for Waluigi. 101 points, 10 points behind Waluigi, which is actually really good going, because I think we're all a bit surprised by the lack of, the lack of speed he's shown. I think a lot of us actually thought V5 was going to run away with this league, really, especially on the original format. We've had some newcomers join, which have really upped the competitiveness. In his Mercedes, he started off exactly how we all thought in Australia, with a race win. And his other highlight, after some tough kind of middling results and a retirement in Spain. I think he raced in Spain, but he got 0 points there, so that's all I know. He come back with a race win, which really put him back in the mix, and actually put him, I believe, back on top of the table after Kalec left. So yeah, DNF in Silverstone. So yeah, there's work to be done for V5, but realistically, I personally feel, my rating for him would be on his ability and where he should be, it's going to be a 3, because I know that sounds crazy because he's second in the league, but he's made a lot of, you know, kind of errors, if you like, on that probably he will be disappointed with. But you know what, actually, you know, in regards to where he is in the league compared to, you know, where he could be, the damage is very limited, so he's only 10 points behind Waluigi. Yeah, you know, I'd back him to personally win the league. But yeah, you know, I want to run through a little bit about his review. He gives himself a 3 out of 10. You know, and I'm going to read it through his own point of views. So to start with, I want people to know that I never for 1 second thought this season was going to be easy by any means. People made huge improvements. The season started off great for me with a comfortable win in Australia. Bahrain saw the arrival of Calic and Waluigi, who blew me away with their pace. At this point in the season, if I wasn't already under pressure, I damn sure was now. In Bahrain and Spain, I made back-to-back strategy errors which cost me big time. At Canada, I made another strategy blunder, taking a chance on inters towards the end. It was the wrong choice, but I still finished second on the inters, fortunately. I had a terrible qualifying session at Austria, which pushed me 7th. With rain on its way, I believe I was on for a podium until I got taken out. At Silverstone, I was on for another comfortable win after making the first pit stop. I started battling a driver I didn't need to, and ended up taking both of us out. Now that driver is Karkanen. On both of those, so he took Karkanen out, which, you know, V5 says was his fault at Silverstone, and Karkanen with his damage in Austria affected V5's race. So it's interesting. You know, I think he's very determined. I think he does feel the pressure. He does definitely feel the pressure. Yeah, but you know, I think it'll be interesting to see how that pressure, you know, kind of falls out, because although we're halfway, there's only 7 races left. We are in fact over halfway. We've had 8 races. So, but one thing to add, you know, in regards to V5 is that V5 had a very good season last season. We haven't actually got the finished league tables. I don't know if he come 4th or 3rd. I think he come 4th. If you know, and I think what's actually happened there is that at the end of last season, if you actually look at the results, he had an incredible back end of it. So maybe he prefers the tracks. Maybe he's gonna, you know, push on and really put a stamp on it. But we'll have to see. Over to the McLaren of Tiggerby. Tiggerby is on 63 points. He is some way off the pace. He is 48 points behind Waluigi. With Waluigi's consistency, you would have to think it is already a 2-way title race. But Tom is very, very, very quick. We know that. We know that he, in fact, actually, you know, at the beginning of the season he started off very badly, but he's actually picked up 51 points in his last 4 races. So that's actually on tally. You know, that if he did that over the first 4, he'd be on 102 points right now. So actually, who knows? I mean, it could actually be a case where he could be really challenging, and I think he's picked up the most amount of points over the last 4 races, over the second half of our half, if you like. 1 win in Austria. He was imperious around there. Him and Switch had a great battle. Yeah, he's looking really strong. I think you'd have to back him to be 3rd, realistically. I think you may want to press for higher than that, but I think you'd back him to come 3rd. You know, 2 podiums, 1 win, just a very disappointing start to the season. Overall for Tom, I'm going to give him a dead 5 actually, because and by the way, 5 is average. I'm not about all this kind of 6.5 is average. No, 5 is, it's 1 to 10, guys. That's how I'm doing it. 5 is average. He's had a great result in Austria. He had a terrible start, terrible for someone of his pace. Shouldn't be knocking around at the bottom of the division with someone of his pace, but you know, second, you know, the last 4 races he's done really well. So yeah, give Tom a really big 5, probably 9 for the, you know, last 4 races and 1 for the first 4. So yeah, no, fair play to Tom. In 4th place we have Robert in the 4th India. Again, another guy other than Silverstone who was picking up points every race. One podium, 59 points, got his podium in round 5 at Canada. Yeah, Robert's probably above where he probably thought he would be in the table. You know, and I think for me it's been it's been brilliant to watch him actually progress, because last season he come 9th in the league. Yeah, and I think realistically he could well be, you know, challenging. He should be challenging Army, Steve-O, Danny, and Tiggerby for that 3rd place. Has he got the outright pace? Don't know, not sure. But you know, in his own words, he ranks his season a solid 9 out of 10. He certainly wasn't expected to be this high up in the championship at any point in the season. The fact I got on the podium at Australia, I think, gave me the sort of confidence boost that I needed in order to stay in front of some very quick drivers in D2. Only had one terrible race, Baku, which I think I could have done a lot more. Finally, I'm proud that I managed to stay in the top 10 in the power rankings since Australia. Yeah, you know, consistent performance, always, you know, tends to strive to do well. So yeah, really good result for Robert. He's had some ups and downs with teammates as well, so it's probably not, I don't know how much people do, but maybe some of the teams, and I know D1 do, but you know, there's probably not a lot of strategy play, not a lot of sharing of setups going on. So you know, he's doing that pretty much by himself. So yeah, kudos to Robert. I'd give him an 8 out of 10 personally. I think, you know, other than Baku, he's been incredibly swift. So fair play. You know, 59 points, 4 behind Tiggerby. Army is next on 54. Bit of a caveat to Army's season. Army has obviously had a lot of examinations coming up, and he's been prioritising them. So good man for putting your life first. Let's be honest. Kind of serious deal exams. Some of us. Wasn't to me, but that's why I'm sat here on a Thursday morning talking to you guys and not, I don't know, a lawyer or an astrophysicist. So props to Army. You know, he's picked up 54 points in 5 races. He's actually managed to come second in 3 of those races, which have accumulated all of his points. He's either bombed out twice, or he's got 18 points a pop. He's not had the time to practice as much as I think, but yeah, let's hear from Army. Gives himself a 6.5 out of 10. He's had some good performances, but been far too inconsistent so far. Same number of DNFs as races completed is quite an alarming stat, and it's one I hope don't hold when I come back for next week. So overall, my pace has been pretty good. Almost always somewhere in the top 3 or 4 in qualifying, but I've struggled in races with being a little too accident prone and taking too many risks when I fall out of position. I need to remember it's better to lose a place than to damage the car. Other than that, it's been really fun racing, and Baku was great. The final moments catching up to V5 were exciting. So yeah, I think, you know, that says a lot about Army. Yeah, I think I personally would give him, I'd give him a 7 purely because of what he's got going on as well at the moment, which I'm guessing is due to finish fairly soon. Exam calendar about mid-June, isn't it? So yeah, you know, you might come on strong towards the end of the season, have a bit more time to practice. Some of you younger guns actually could well do better than some of us oldies, because you'll have a bit more free time, I'm guessing. Whereas we'll still be doing the 9 to 5, so you might be able to be whizzing it round Singapore and the like after, and getting some good practice in. So, but no, you know, 54 points for Army. Yeah, pretty good so far. On to Steve-O on 46. This is the line. Steve-O, I think Steve-O should be very happy with what he's done. You know, he's picked up 2 points, 10 points, DNF, 4 points, 8 points, 4 points, 12 points, 6 points. No podiums, no wins, but 46 points, and that is where this midfield, like the kind of results the midfield should be picking up. So really solid for Steve-O. He showed some genuine pace. He showed brilliant strategy in Austria on the full qualifying. Really thought about that and paid dividends. So yeah, Steve-O hasn't given me a mark out of 10, but for me, I'd actually give Steve-O a 7, because he's probably batting about where he needs to be, and a lot of people below him have let themselves down a little bit, I would say. But no, props to Steve-O for doing so well. Next comes Danny on 38 points. Only 4 races completed for the Haas driver. UK, you know, the UK Grand Prix, Britain Grand Prix was probably absolutely his best result. Picked up, you know, a great result there. So yeah, Danny, obviously he's I didn't know this, so I hope he doesn't mind me saying, because I think he mentioned it in the chat, but he lives in Macau, so the race times for him are absolutely ruthless. It's like 2 AM in the morning. Wow, I couldn't think of anything worse. I mean, you know, if he's a man after my own heart, he must be a few beers in by this point on a Saturday evening. So for him to be able to to do quite well, fair play to him. It's a difficult one with Danny, because obviously at the beginning of the season, when we found out he was moving into D2, because for those of you who don't know, Danny was in D1 last year. Yeah, and I think we really thought he was going to really challenge, but you know, he's not raced every race. He's got commitments, obviously, and he's got things he needs to look after over in the Far East. But yeah, really quick guy on his day. Hard to give him a grade, really. I'd probably go 4, really. Quick on his day. Good, you know, good racer. All I would probably add, hope he doesn't mind me saying, is, and again, you know, I guess the time differences don't help this, is be a bit more interactive in the league, because he seems like a funny guy, seems like a good guy, but he's not bringing much to the league. So yeah, you know, and I don't think he's ever going to be the kind of guy that's going to grind out 19 races and try for the title. So, but yeah, you know, that's Danny. Carcannon on 37 points. Baku was a great race for him, coming third. He's now obviously in the Red Bull next to Waluigi. Yeah, you know, a couple of DNFs, but didn't race first race. I don't know if he was in the league, so I think he actually only joined second race, so props. But 6 points, 4 points, DNF, 15 points, 8 points and 4 points for Carcannon. So yeah, you know, again, picking up scores, just picking up points, picking up results. This isn't a direct result of mine and his clash, because I actually, you know, in hindsight, enjoyed our battle, but his wheel to wheel might be a little bit too heavy, and I think potentially that's probably cost him some points this season, but we'll see. You know, I think he's got a good score there, 37. It's a good bench to go after people like, you know, you've got to include Danny, because he's not going to race every week, so he's going to cost himself. People like Steve-O, you know, he's only 9 points behind Steve-O. That's just one big result in the midfield. That's a third place, and if you assume that, you know, Steve-O comes in at 7th or 8th, you've jumped him. So yeah, good start for Carcannon. Baku was definitely his highlight. What would I give Carcannon out of 10? From the pace he showed at the beginning of the league, I'd give him a 7, because he didn't seem that quick actually when he come in. I didn't think he was going to be that quick at all. But yeah, no, he seems to be improving. He races a lot. I know he's in AOR. I know he loves a good social race. Props to him for that as well, for, you know, doing these social races on the calendar. I think a lot of us enjoy them. Quite a few of us have actually dipped into them. So yeah, no, good. Again, you know, almost the antithesis of Danny. Not as quick, a lot more involved, very much involved in the league, and definitely a good addition. So yeah, I'd probably, yeah, like I say, probably give him a 7 out of 10. On to Dave. Dave has got 34 points. He's kind of been the quiet man of the league this year. 8 points, 12 points, 2 points, DNF, 8 points, 2 points. He's kind of just picking up points, you know. He's not as quick. I think Maka made this point, actually, to me, privately. We were talking about some of the things in the league, just, you know, as you do. And he said that Dave would struggle this year, because Dave's, if you don't know, pretty much most people know, but Dave loves the reverse strategy. Dave loves starting on the prime tyre, as we used to call it, switching onto the options. So he's very, very good at the reverse strategy. Now, in the first season of the games, I think that really plays into his hands because, and this is a point Macca made, so I'm kind of stealing it off Macca, but the second season, a lot of people already have a strategy in mind from last season if they've played, and they've got a good idea about, you know, the optimal setups and how they'll work, and tyre wear, and what the tyre wear means around certain tracks. So I think he loses a step a bit in the second season of games. Now, for him to have 34 points in this league, in the competitiveness of it, and be in 10th place so far, and having a nice gap actually to 11th, is a testament to him. I think he, and I think he should be pretty happy. But, you know, it's interesting because speaking to him, and again, you know, Dave wrote some of his comments out for me. He's quite disappointed. He gives himself a 3 out of 10. Started decently enough with top sixes in Australia and Bahrain, but silly mistakes in Spain and Britain, along with crashes in Monaco and Canada, have derailed my progress. Must do better. Now, yeah, I mean, he's obviously hungry to do better. He's obviously going to look to try and catch people like Steve O'Danny and Carl Cannon. But yeah, not a bad. I think he's being harsh on himself. I'd actually go and give him a 6 because his. Also, you know, I keep saying this, but no safety car this year potentially could really help people on a reverse strategy. If you're the only one and the safety car comes out after, you know, let's say everyone's stopped already, and there's that 5-6 lap gap between him putting his other boots on, bang, all of a sudden he's just gained 20 seconds on people. So yeah, but I think Dave's done well. I think he's been a bit hard on himself. Onto myself, old school 3000, 26 points. Yeah, I am horrifically disappointed with that score. Is nowhere near my goal. I wanted to finish this season on 90 points. That's the goal I gave myself, which worked out to be, what did it work out to be? About 7 points a race, I think. Just there or there, about 6.5 or something. Yeah, and it's just not panned out that way at all. 2 5th place finishes in Australia and in Baku. Other than that, just picked up a couple of points here and there, really. Yeah, 11th place. Don't really mind about the place, it's just more about the results. I've switched to no traction control since Austria, purely to keep the game live. I've obviously changed my view, which a lot of people have commented on, think it makes me a little bit reckless. I take that on board. I think I need to improve my racecraft with that view. Things seem to come at you a lot quicker. If anyone can be bothered, try the follow cam. The race track seems really slow. You'll get what I mean if you try it, but you know, in that T cam everything's whizzing past you quicker because you're lower on the track, so a bit weird. But yeah, I would give myself a 2 out of 10. Must do better. I've got some. I tend to not like the middly tracks around here. What I mean, the middly tracks, I mean Spa, Hungary, Monza. They're not really my kind of vibe at all. I like the end of season tracks a lot more. So yeah, we'll see. But not the best for myself. Now there's someone that's really difficult to grade is MCR. He's just joined last race and won it, so he looks really quick. He's the new D2. My personal view on someone like MCR, I'm not going to talk too much about MCR because he's had one race and I don't really know much about him, but I know he used to battle Switch. I know he's an old guy of the league. But yeah, I think for me it's interesting. We're going to have probably, I'm guessing, I don't have any info here, by the way, I'm just as dumb as you guys with this one, but I'm guessing we're going to have at least 3 divisions. So if you want to be in Division 2 next year and you're in this league this year, you need to come top 10. I would guess, to completely sew up your seat. You know, people like myself in 11th, James below me, Mike, and below, you're going to have a real big battle on your hands to probably convince whoever it is that's going to decide it that you deserve to be in Division 2 if we're getting people like MCR involved who are coming in and winning a race straight off the bat. Not going to grade MCR, it's kind of impossible. It's perfect results so far. So yeah. On to James. James in 13th place in the McLaren. Disappointing for 24 points in my eyes. Didn't race the first race. DNF 10.8.060 DNF. I'm going to say this because I think he's a bit reckless. I know he uploads the videos for his career mode, and I wonder if he gets enough practice out there online, because some of the moves he pulls, it seems, from what I've seen of him, he's quite aggro. Yeah, I don't know. His racecraft could be better. Happened with him and me in Silverstone. I took the inside line, he took the inside line, and just kind of dived into me up the back. And I'm not used to no TC on the grass, so I was spinning around for a good 20 seconds after. But it seemed like a daft move. It didn't seem like there was any play for it, really. Yeah, I don't know. I think him and me are probably similar. I would probably give him a 2 as well, because I don't think he would be happy with where he is in the league in comparison to people like Robert's kind of removed himself from this group. But, you know, when you look at Steve O'Carcan, Dave and me and Mike, it's not good. You know, it's not been a good start, but good. You know, seems like a nice guy, good guy, and hopefully he can press on and do some better performances going on. Switching 14th for 23 points. Switch has only raced 4 times, 2 DNFs, a 3rd and a 6th. Yeah, yeah. Love having Switch on board. Big character, quite a laugh. Respect what he's doing with the no assists. Really challenging himself, keeping the game fresh. And that's why he's done it. I think he was saying that, you know, I made a point in the chat about wanting to keep the game fresh by turning off no TC and changing my view, obviously to get better, but, you know, it also makes it a bit more challenging. It's not the same old. And that's why he did it. So he's stretching himself. I think he could be really dangerous. I think, you know, his season so far, probably a 4, just because I think he'd want better results out of the 4 races he's raced. But him and a few others, I'll go on to the kind of my predictions and thoughts for the rest of the season after this, but Switch plays a big part in that. Mike on 19, good result in Canada, but yeah, leaving a lot to be desired so far. In 15th place, 1 point DNF, didn't race, 10 points, didn't race, 0.8. Again, not someone who turns up every week, which is, you know, it's understandable. It's 5 races, picked up points in 3 of them. Yeah, I think Mike could be doing better, and I think he probably acknowledges that. But yeah, good result in Canada for him. He's on 19. Cabrera on 15, another new guy, so I'm not really going to touch too much, but, you know, only just raced 1 race. As I understand, is he in this league? No, he got moved from D1, so he's another quick guy. He's another MCR type. You know, we're gonna have to up our game if we want good points now in that midfield. So yeah, welcome aboard Cabrera. Aaron on 12 points, not been seen for a few races, but yeah, still active. Actually gave me his thoughts so far on his season, as did Switch actually. I apologise, I need to go back and run through Switchblade's thoughts on the season, so yes, I apologise to Switchblade. But Spain, first time playing in 3 months, on for good results, few incidents led me down to 6th. Austria, good track for me, pole position, battle with Tiggerby, weather allows Waluigi to catch, lose 2nd due to a 3-second penalty. Silverstone, bad lap and conditions in quali, led to 5th. Almost blown up by Stevo, 3-man overtake, battle with Cabrera, disconnected from first, shunted into pit lane, retire. People should calm down at start, great battles, happy with my pace, but results haven't gone my way. So yeah, sorry, apologies to Mike Cabrera as well, and apologies to Switch, really appreciate you coming back to me on your points, but yeah, probably give... Going back to Aaron, you know, I wanted to run through his comments as well, and I think it's interesting seeing what he has to say. Give his season 5 out of 10. Had 2 good races. I missed a few, but those 2 were pretty decent. Also great fun and learning curve racing with everyone. I think he enjoys it. I think he's got commitments that means he can't race every week, so props to him. He's a good addition to the league as well. Potentially could be, someone that could score some really good points. Yugi in 8 points. Good start to the season. Tailed off a little bit. Not the quickest guy at the moment. Probably should be happy with 8 points actually. If you're beating a former, is Macca a former champion? I think Macca might be a former champion. I've heard whispers of that. I don't know. I might be wrong, but you're beating a former. You're beating a legend of the PRL. So, and you're the last one to be doing that. So there you go. But no, yeah, good start for Yugi. Hopefully he sticks around as well. Seems like a nice guy. Yeah, give him a 7. Give him a 7 for that. Needs to improve to keep going at a good rate, but yeah, give him a nice 7 out of 10. Macca, wow, 4 points in Australia. Started the season with a bang, and then DNF. What can we say? We know he's quick. It's just one of them. But yeah, hopefully with the sharp end of the season coming up, he's going to want to help V5. He's going to want to try and get that Constructors' Championship win, and hopefully he kind of pushes on from it. But yeah, I've got a few words from Macca. So yeah, let's have a little look at what Macca has to say. Let me just find them. Yeah, basically, highlight, can't think of one. Low light, too many to pick from, but I'll go with Silverstone. And I pointed out, because obviously I was talking to him about his highlight was your pace around Canada. He said he likes the wheel-to-wheel battle the most, but I do take a risk for a good result. Considering the track got really dry and it was cold, my effort on medium tyres wasn't that bad, I don't think. I said to Smith, this was around Silverstone, I said to Smithy, I'm determined to turn this around and do well this season and not let V5 down and win the Constructors. As you've seen from my practice times in races and doing race practices, in clear air I have the pace, just need to do qualifying better. So yeah, I think that pretty much sums up. He's still determined, he's got the heart. I think when the sharp end comes to the season, and we'll go on to the Constructors, I'll touch on the Constructors a little bit. I think he'll improve. Emperor on 4 points, picked up some good points in Austria. Another not too regular attender, but Emperor's beaten his teammate as well, which I wouldn't have put money on at the beginning of the season because, yeah, he come 22nd in the league last year, and his teammate Bellon come 19th. So, yeah, respect to Emperor for his 4 points. Always a stalwart in this league, so got a lot of time for the Williams driver. Ibo on 2, picked up his 2 points in Monaco. Looked quite racy around Silverstone. Was a bit unlucky actually to probably not nab a point. I think the weather didn't play into his hands at all. Ibo's going to be disappointed, but yeah, you know, I mean, I'm going to give him a 3, only because I know he'll be disappointed. I wouldn't want to give him any higher, but he's shown some improvements. He's definitely quicker than last season. Even his time trials, they're not, you know, drastically off what a lot of others are. So yeah, fair play. 2 points for Ibo. Bellon on 1, very disappointing to be behind his teammate Emperor. I would say he's quicker than Emperor. Yeah, returner from last season in 19th, so not the best for him. Pomoy with 1 point. Again, Pomoy is not a really quick guy at all. So he's done well to pick up his point. I would like to see him, you know, I'm sure he'll want to pick up some more points before the end of the season. Hope he does, but the league's got a lot stronger in the last few races with some of the new additions. But yeah, that kind of wraps up all of your individual results and thoughts from yourself and me. If I have missed anyone, I really apologise. I've gone on my phone and just trying to get everyone out. If I've offended anyone, I'm really sorry, but I think I've done everybody. But yeah, let's have a look at the constructors. Red Bull 148, that is now Car Cannon and Waluigi. Car Cannon has inherited some good points. It's not his fault. That's a great team. Car Cannon could be the guy that will pick up a lot of points. Obviously, Waluigi. They're almost the consistent guys in each of their brackets, so they could do really well. 43 points behind is V5 and Maka. I'm not going to break down how those points work. I think you can all work it out yourself. But yeah, Maka needs to step it up. He knows that. V5 needs to step it up. He knows that. So a 43 point gap to someone like, I think Maka's faster than Car Cannon. Personally, just throwing it out there. I would take Maka in a one-on-one duel around many tracks. I think if you race them one-on-one, Maka's got the edge. If you race Waluigi and V5, V5's got the edge. But we all know there's 20 cars on the grid, so it don't work like that. But I would definitely put V5 and Maka. I would say it's a flip, that title race. I would say it's a flip between those two. But then equally, you've got the Toro Rossos with 100 points, 48 points behind, and only 5 points behind the Mercedes with Steve-O and Army. Now Army is slightly slower than V5, and I would put him on par with Waluigi. Steve-O, I would say, is quicker than Car Cannon and Maka. Now this is where it gets interesting. You've got three people there that are all, you've got very kind of juxtapositions as to how quick people are. Steve-O and Army as well. Their points differences aren't very big. Probably the most even share, 54 points for Army and 46 for Steve-O. So they've really kind of chipped into this constructors. They are defending champions, let's not forget. So I think they, again, they've got a chance if they have a good second half. McLaren on 87, Tom and James. Yeah, again, people that could improve. So it's not over, and looks over. But the constructors, the point swings are so big. 43 points end of the day, you can pick up in a race. Force. I'm going to call it Force Romania again because Robert's the only consistent guy. He's had more teammates than I've had on dinners. Unfortunately for Robert, 82 points. Him and Switch again. What a team! Crazy team. Third place. If we remember, third place could be up for grabs there. Really good, really well balanced teams actually. I find. So yeah, I think they could do some bits. They could definitely do well. Haas with 64. Me and Danny. Yeah, another team that maybe could improve. Another team that could probably step it up if Danny can be a bit more regular on the attendance side of things, and I can actually turn up. I mean, I do turn up every week, but if I can actually turn up every week, we could do well as well. 64 there. Ferrari on 53. Dave and Mike, kind of two midfielders. I think this is where it kind of falls down a little bit. Everyone else, with respect to Dave and Mike, all of the other teams. You've got, in Haas, you've got Danny in the Force. You've got, and Switch could probably lay claim to being quite quick. McLaren, you've got Tom. In Toro Rosso, you've got Army and Steve-O to a degree. Mercedes, you've got V5, and Red Bull, you've got Waluigi. I don't think Danny and Mike, in their heart of hearts, believe that they can beat the top drivers in those teams. So I think they're doing quite well. They probably want to try and catch. Probably want to come fifth. Try and beat one of McLaren, Force India, and Haas. So yeah. Fair play to those guys. Aaron and Yugi, 20 points. That's a good little haul for two new drivers. Fair play to them. 20 points for the Sauber. Yeah, respect to that. That's some good points. And they're beating people like Bellon and Emperor, who have got 5 points. I think it's 5 points. I'm not written this one down. Yeah, 5 points in the Williams. So yeah, they must do better if they're going to hold off in the battle of the wooden spoon the Renaults with Ibo and Pomoy. Now that's just one big result away, isn't it? It's just that for me is an 8th place finish away from deciding who's going to come out on top in 9th. So yeah, interesting. I'm going to leave you with some final thoughts of the season, some predictions, and just my comments on what's going to change. I genuinely think having MCR, Cabrera, Switchblade as well, obviously he's a relatively new returnee. Having these guys, we had Cloudy Blooms, of course, who I've, some of the guys that haven't, we've got 4 reserves who have also been turning up, and these guys haven't quite hit the heights yet. But I just want to point out that I suppose Gaz, Energetics, Cristiano's left the league, and Cloudy Balloons, none of them have had points in the reserves, but Cloudy and Energetics and Gaz all look really quick. We've got a load of people that could throw a real big spanner in the works to the top two. You know, I think this is where the teammates need to perhaps, you know, if they want to and if they're invested in it, help their teammate. This is where Car Cannon, this is where James, this is where Maka can really step up, help them strategy wise, and help them fend off some of these guys from kind of interfering in the title race. Because, you know, if V5 has a good race and Waluigi's slightly under par, you would say that Army, Tiggerby, Stevo, Danny, MCR, Cabrera could all finish above him. That's what, 5-6 people? So you're coming 7th and V5's coming 1st, or vice versa. That's 19 points. Yeah, 19 points. Those guys are going to have a massive say in the league, just as much, ironically, I think, as the guys in the title fight. And even, you never know, it could really drag people like Robert, Army and Tiggerby back in it. If Tiggerby and Army and Robert are coming 2nd and 3rd, and, you know, you've got Cabrera and Switch coming 1st, I don't think they've got too much ground to make up over 7 races. I could play into their hands. You know, V5 and Waluigi blow out, all of a sudden we're getting tighter. So that's my kind of thoughts for the season. Looking forward to the last 7 races with you all. If anyone has any comments, please let me know. Anything that I can do to improve it. Sorry, it's just myself rattling on, but no one stepped up. No one stepped up to do it with me. But yeah, that's fine. I don't mind. Not everyone's bag this kind of talking for an hour in the sun on a Thursday morning, so don't worry, get it. Cool. All right. Well, look. Best of luck to you all. Really hope the season plays out the way you hope it does. Hope there are some good battles. Hope it gets a bit fairer. Seems a bit messy out there at the moment, I think, in both divisions. But you know what? Good luck to you all. This is your P16 pre-season champion signing out. Peace.